no.
I'm a big enough man to admit when I'm wrong. T'Challa here showed me there was more than one way to reallocate the universe's resource.
Shut up!
It's just a good argument.
Aye, aye, Commander.
Shut up!
My plan was not without its merits.
Pretty sure it's still just genocide, big guy.
Yo! Okay.
Wow!
Okay.
Okay!
Okay.
Exactly did you stop Thanos from the universe? Oh,
I'm a big enough man to admit when I'm wrong. Reallocate the universe's resources.
Sometimes the best weapon in your arsenal is just a good argument.
So all of this could be avoided if he became Star-Lord.
exactly did you stop Thanos, the Mad Titan?
What?
No, I'm a big enough man to admit when I'm wrong.
Sometimes the best weapon in your arsenal is just a good argument.
Oh my gosh!
Boy, I still assert my plan was not without its merits.
Pretty sure it's still just genocide, big guy.
And I'm pretty sure it's efficient.
That's wild.
Mad Titan, the destiny half of the universe.
Oh, Thanos! Yeah!
T'Challa here showed me there was more than one way to reallocate the universe's resources.
What?
Told ya! Yeah, good guy.
I assert my plan was not without its merits.
Pretty sure it's still just genocide, big guy.
Dude, what?
This is so funny.
That was beautifully done.
No pain. Mild, moderate, severe. Very severe.
Alright then, episode 2. What if T'Challa was the Star-Lord? Guess what? It's worse than episode 1. So let's talk about it. We open on the planet Morag, where T'Challa is filling the role of Star-Lord to a T, as he is here to acquire the orb containing the Power Stone. This thing is never addressed as being an Infinity Stone, by the way, just more instances of these stones being treated like background trinkets. Also, no charming dance sequence here, because this Star-Lord is cool as ice. He is then surrounded by Korath from the original Guardians film, and T'Challa introduces himself very confidently as Star-Lord, just like the original. But this time...
Oh, Star-Lord! I'm a huge fan of your work.
And now, we have entered the new world of the T'Challa Simp cult, where no one is safe from Star-Lord's Gary Stu aura that clouds this entire new alternate universe. Korath is a pathetic fanboy stan. Yondu and the other Ravagers are reformed criminals who fawn over his altruistic, selfless, charitable, humble, and magnanimous nature. Nebula, who is blonde now, somehow. Could be a wig, but whatever, looks nice, I guess. She just salivates over his perfectness with the most flirtatious, seductive voice, while having bedroom eyes the whole time. She even has a cute little nickname for him.
Hey, Cha-Cha.
And of course, there's...
Universe. Oh, no.
I'm a big enough man to admit when I'm wrong. T'Challa here showed me there was more than one way to reallocate the universe's resource.
We'll get to that. Back on Morag, we have some stellar comedy where Korath is just so smitten with meeting Star-Lord that he is not sure if he should be bowing or kneeling to T'Challa and says he is a lord. But T'Challa is very humble, as Korath calls him, and he says...
It is not an official title, nor is it one I am comfortable with.
You know, that's funny. Because I could have sworn you were proclaiming yourself to be Star-Lord extremely confidently not 30 seconds ago, you silly purple fuck. Then Korath, who is so honoured to be fighting Star-Lord that he is reluctant to even use his gun to just fucking shoot the man and end this misery of an episode. T'Challa is even encouraging him to use the weapon out of the kindness of his humble and generous heart. But this is all a clever ploy, you see, because Stu-Lord here is faster than a firing weapon. In fact, no, he is so fast Korath doesn't get a single shot in, and is then heavily embarrassed in their hand-to-hand fight. But he doesn't care, and he gets knocked out with a smile on his face. Dear God, what am I watching? T'Challa then uses the gravity disc thing and blasts away the other two guys. Wait, I thought that thing only pulled things towards it, not blasted them away? Oh, fuck it. I guess it does both now. Whatever. Before T'Challa leaves, he takes Korath the Simp with him as he expressed interest in joining Stu Lord's crew of Simps. He needs as many Simps as possible to fuel his Gary Stu life source. It all makes sense now. The true villain of Phase 4. After Yondu appears and kills all of the other remaining alien guys outside the temple, we flash back to 1988, when T'Challa was kidnapped by Yondu in Wakanda. And by God, this is where the episode takes a nosedive off a cliff into unrecoverable stupidity. So the narration tells us that Yondu was in fact still hired by Ego to take Peter Quill away and deliver him to Ego. But here, Yondu gave this assignment away for his subordinates to take care of. So they apparently were just going to pick up any random child that had a strong alien signature that they were scanning for. Like, this scanning technology apparently can't tell the difference between the readings of vibranium and a living creature. Okay. So they just snatch up young T'Challa because, quote, all humans look alike to me. Yondu accurately points out that this child looks nothing like Peter Quill, but it's blown off pretty quickly because T'Challa is not at all fazed by seeing a spaceship for the first time and being abducted by aliens. So Yondu takes an interest in young T'Challa and offers him the chance to explore multiple worlds. And of course, because T'Challa is characterized as an explorer, he just can't fucking wait to get out there and leave his family behind for decades because boo fucking who. My dad didn't let me explore outside of Wakanda, and I'm an explorer, so fuck him. And my mother, and my sister, who I'm not sure is born yet, but anyway, fuck her too. And the country I'm supposed to rule after my father dies. Ah, now we arrive at the infamous spacebar scene, where we get more Ravagers simping over all of Star-Lord's greatest heroic deeds, along with a bloody feminist Ravager with the fucking pink hair and the shaved side haircut. What the fuck? Drax is a fucking bartender. Nebula, as mentioned before, is introduced here with her maybe wig and cringy nickname for Stu-Lord to give out the main quest of the episode. And, of course, there's this.
T'Challa here showed me there was more than one way to reallocate the universe's resource.
Oh dear sweet Jesus fucking Mary and Joseph, what the fuck have you maniacs done to him?
Look how they massacred my boy.
T'Challa somehow convinced Thanos to not go through with his plans to balance the universe and kill half of all life. You know, the singular thing in his life that has driven him towards this goal since he was on his home planet trying to convince the other Titans around him that their planet would die unless they culled half of the population, and he was proven right when the planet starved. A character who couldn't even be convinced by his own daughter, favourite daughter I might add, to stop his plans and called him insane. This character who will kill any and all innocents who stand in his way and try to stop him from achieving his goal. A character who will sacrifice the only person in their lives who they truly loved and cared for just to be one step closer towards his singular goal of universal balance. A character who proclaims they are the only one in the universe who knows this is the correct course of action, and he is the only one with the will and power to act on it. But here we get this.
Sometimes the best weapon in your arsenal is just a good argument.
Oh man, I would really love to see what fucking good argument Star-Lord here used to convince Thanos to change his mind, and what specific methods of allocating resources did he list to Thanos that can save everyone in the galaxy. I mean, this is incredible, T'Challa. Please do go into more detail than this vague nonsense of a good argument. I mean, this will literally save the universe, right? Thanos will no longer destroy half of all life because you have found another way to convince him. What is it? You must tell us. We'll never know, will we? Fuck this episode.
They played us like a damn fiddle!
Stop assassinating characters, please.
Aye, aye, Commander.
So, question. how on fucking earth does T'Challa have all this knowledge growing up around Ravagers? He was kidnapped when he was like, what, 8? 10 if we're being generous? And grew up to be this galaxy-wide hero who can literally convince anyone of anything, including getting Yondu to stop the Ravagers from being criminal junkers, because he possesses the knowledge necessary that he got from thin fucking air, I guess? He has saved systems from extinction, jump-started a dying star, and knows exactly how to allocate all resources around the galaxy for everyone to prevent famine. Did I mention how fucking cool and perfect this character is? I love it when my protagonists have no flaws, and everyone loves them regardless of what they do or say. Makes them so gosh darn interesting and relatable. It's peak character writing. Get fucked, Scorsese. This is true art and cinema. Alright, back to the boring plot of this episode. Nebula introduces the McMuffin of the episode, called The Embers of Genesis, which... Wait, what the fuck is that around his neck? A Black Panther necklace? Where the bloody shit did that come from? He wasn't wearing that when he was kidnapped. What is this shit? My god, they truly don't give a fuck about continuity, do they? I mean, we've known this about Marvel for a while now, but... Jesus, I've never seen a more blatant fuck-up in this piss-poor excuse of a story. Oh! Again, my mistake. This contrived bollocks has to happen for a later plot point involving some conveniently stolen Wakandan technology for T'Challa's necklace to activate. But we'll get to that. Yes, so, the Embers of Genesis, a wonderful little item that can... Oh, fucking hell, what?
The power to terraform entire ecosystems. With 1 ounce, you can heal a dying planet in minutes.
Jesus Christ, why the fuck has this thing not been utilized before this point? You know, since before the Collector had this thing, was it just floating around space, or was it stuck on a planet somewhere, and then it was taken? This thing essentially brings planets back to fucking life.
We could feed billions of people on millions of worlds and eradicate hunger across the galaxy.
Well, I mean, I must say, why the fuck do we even need these embers? We've got Albert Einstein, galaxy brain, mega magnanimous stew lord over here. He knows how to allocate resources properly already. He's even jump-started a dying star. This is fucking child's play for T'Challa, surely. I also bloody love that they immediately cuck Thanos with this Embers thing, with Korath being like, ha! Hey, look Thanos, you should have just used this thing the whole time, you loser, lol, Captain Genocide. It's so great that they are using Thanos' core character motivation that drives his very existence into a fucking joke, and it's not the only time they do it. You deserved so much more than this. Avengers goddamn Endgame treated you with more respect. For shame. So the crew is discussing their plan to get this MacGuffin from the Collector, but not before we get a quippy line from T'Challa saying he's been trying to get Thanos and Nebula into counseling. So not only has T'Challa convinced Thanos to become good and join his crew, he's also been the facilitator of repairing Thanos and Nebula's relationship. It is funny to me that if you go back and watch through the history of Nebula and Thanos' incredibly abusive and torturous relationship, and then boiling all of it down to this comment...
It's a long story. I've been trying to get them into counseling.
A fucking insult is what it is. Oh yeah, plot stuff. How could I forget? It's so engaging. Yondu is very apprehensive about going against the Collector as he is a dangerous kingpin of the space underworld. But of course, Stew Lord convinces him to do it because that's his superpower, I suppose. And the plan is set, and it's extremely stupid. So Nebula and Yondu will go in and pretend to be selling the orb to the Collector, but inside their little box is T'Challa. But, uh-oh, there's a security check by Proxima Midnight. Turns out the entire Black Order from Infinity War and Endgame are running security for the Collector. Oh, yes! I can't wait for this show to insult these characters some more and portray them like fucking powerless morons. And that's exactly what happens, because Thanos, Korath, and other Ravagers are outside acting as a distraction, so that all of the Black Order and other security units converge on the fighting, including Proxima Midnight, who is supposed to be running this fucking security check for this box, and then just fucks off and lets them go through the doors unsupervised. So now T'Challa can be let out of the box to conduct his plan, which is literally to just look for the embers. just, yeah, like he's just going to look for it. Just look for this one tiny thing amongst this collection of literally tens of thousands of items and living creatures. No unique tracking technology to search for it, just blindly flying and walking through the area and hoping to run into it. However, he does get the exact location given to him by a Howard the Duck cameo, who T'Challa happens to run into, and also happens to know exactly where this specific item is despite being locked in this box the whole fucking time. But T'Challa lets the duck free to show him the way to the McMuffin, and in the meantime, the Brainless Order are dealing with the Ravager distraction, with Corvus and the Black Dwarf doing fuck all, when they were the ones that saw the fighting first and called in other units to deal with it. So instead, Proxima slams the ground with her spear thing and causes an electric burst through the ground, and knocks out fucking everyone, including Thanos. Where in the shitting hell was this strength in the other movies? So only now do they realize it's a diversion, despite the fact Thanos is among them, and I don't know if you have eyeballs or not, but he kind of sticks out in a crowd, especially considering he already has a history with the Black Order in this universe.
He's got the Black Order doing security. Take it from me. They're bad news.
The alarm is sounded, and the Collector building is locked down, forcing T'Challa to go into a hangar area where there are a bunch of spaceships, including the whole reason this necklace is shoehorned into this episode, despite it not being present on T'Challa's neck when he was kidnapped. It's so that it can light up like a beacon when it's near this Wakanda ship that the Collector some fucking how took from Earth. T'Challa goes into the ship where there are also costumes from the Dora the Explorer Milaje, so some Wakandans were also killed as well as their stuff being stolen, I guess? Collector makes no fucking sense. T'Challa is shocked at this discovery because for some reason Yondu told him that Wakanda was destroyed by some war, and he just took his damn word for it and didn't ask for Yondu to show proof of this. Oh well, this is forced conflict that will show up later anyway. T'Challa then sees a homing beacon that just pops up in the ship, and it's his father, who is significantly older and is only now sending out a distress call detailing that his son was kidnapped by an alien spaceship. Why in the absolute banana cake fuck did his father wait this long to call for help for his missing child, while knowing full well that it was in fact an alien spaceship that took him? So you're telling me that Wakanda, of all places, established to be the most advanced technological civilization on Earth, didn't have the technology necessary to reach out for help and get the word out that the son of the king was kidnapped by an alien spaceship? Or they couldn't have built a spaceship in the meantime, or even multiple spaceships quick enough to go out and look for T'Challa? Listen, as bullshit as the inconsistent magical properties of vibranium are in the Black Panther world, you cannot tell me that T'Chaka, the king, whose son was randomly kidnapped by aliens, wouldn't, with all of his influence and technological prowess, do everything in his power to get all of his scientists to make this matter the #1 priority and have them all working around the clock to create the necessary technology to get his child back. But nah, fuck that logical shit. This scene is emotional, as T'Challa only now, for some fucked reason, is missing his home. Plus, he is very rightly distraught that Yondu has lied to him, despite the fact you probably should have looked more into that, and not just taken his word for it, considering what you know about your father and Wakandan culture is that they are isolationists and have been living in peace for literally thousands of years. Why the fuck would they randomly erupt into a war that destroys their country? Nebula enters the ship now and seemingly betrays Stu-Lord because she had a debt with the Collector. But this is actually a double cross, and it's about as obvious as Movie Bob sounding like a Nazi on Twitter. Now we arrive at our forced drama between Yondu and T'Challa. You see, Yondu lied to make T'Challa see the truth that they are both alike. They're both explorers. So of course, Yondu needs to tell T'Challa that his home country and family are all fucking dead, so that T'Challa can stay up here with Korath the Simp and cut Thanos doing space Robin Hood shit. Of course, T'Challa is rightfully furious about this, even though T'Challa willingly abandoned his home and family to go and do space Robin Hood shit instead. So he's not exactly in the clear here. But at the end of the day, they are both unlikable assholes, and we cap this scene off with T'Challa saying,
You are not my family. You never were.
T'Challa is now taken from the cell and put into one of Collector's cages, and the one line that I actually kind of like, purely because it takes the piss out of Stu Lord T'Challa, is this quote from the Collector.
It appears he does have a superpower after all. He can bore someone to death using only his sanctimony.
We cut back to the other Ravagers in the cell, and the obvious double cross presents itself when Nebula one-shots one of the Black Order members, Corvus Glaive. Fucking hell, why does Marvel hate these characters so much? Nebula then explains that the Collector wanted T'Challa for his collection because he's just so darn fucking amazing, why wouldn't he? And she obtained the Embers MacGuffin off-screen, as T'Challa getting captured was apparently a good cover for her to obtain it? What the fuck ever, they have the thing, let's get this over with. But Yondu says, well, what about T'Challa? And T'Challa's plan is to use the Wakanda necklace to break out of the cage as it's made of vibranium. Good thing the Collector is a retard for the plot to happen and didn't think to take that away. You know, that vibranium necklace, valuable, indestructible vibranium necklace, before he put Stu Lord in the cage. The Ebony Maw now has T'Challa trapped in glass, so he is surely fucked and dead, right? I mean, the Maw is way too powerful, even for Gary Stu Lord here. Like, he can't fight against telekinesis, right? Well, lucky for T'Challa, the pink alien servant girl shoots the Maw dead and helps T'Challa because she liked that thing he said about people in cages.
Where I come from, history has never looked kindly on those who lock men in cages.
I liked that thing you said about not locking people in cages.
Thank you. I am forever in your debt.
She literally frees him because she only now came to the realization that trapping people in cages for the rest of their lives is bad, because T'Challa said doing so is considered bad. This was written by a Down syndrome toddler eating glue, I swear to God. We have now arrived at the final act boss fight, and holy fuck, Knuckle, you are dead. Super dead, surely dead, fuck off. Like, oh wow, not even a small bruise. Stu Lord's pristine, regular human face is all but untouched, even when smashed full force from this beefy drag queen motherfucker with an arm made of fucking rocks that, guess what, belonged to Korg. Neat reference, guys. I'm sure there won't be any more.
A dagger forged in dark matter, taken from the ruler of the Dark Elf.
I understood that reference.
A necrosword, courtesy of the Asgardian goddess of death.
I understood that reference.
Oh, of course, this is Phase 4 we're talking about. Pillaging the past content is the new business model. Wait, he has Cap's shield and Mjolnir? Did this fucking goofy cock sandwich beat the Avengers? How? Like, oh, fuck's sake, I'm thinking about this way too much. It's just a stupid reference, let's move on.
I understood that reference.
Shut the fuck up! Now, in case you needed to see the almighty Mad Titan Thanos get embarrassed some more, here's the almighty Mad Titan Thanos getting embarrassed some more. This creature by himself beat the ever-loving piss out of Thor and Hulk, and took on all of these Avengers at once, and for a lot of them, he didn't even use the Infinity Stones to beat them. But here, he gets absolutely bodied by a couple of background lackeys from Infinity War and Endgame. And I also appreciate this goddamn condescending line from Nebula.
Are you crazy? You'll never take them yourself.
You what?
Huh? You fucking what, mate? Are we talking about the same person here, you bimbo bitch? Then naturally Nebula comes back to help because Thanos needs fucking help now, and she shoots Proxima, then uses the Ember McMuffin thing to make vines grow out of Black Dwarf, killing him instantly. Then the vines rapidly grow out of the ground, covering the whole colony within seconds. One of the Ravagers asks, "Where's T'Challa and Yondu?" And Nebula is just like,
I'm sure they're doing fine.
Why?
Back to the stupid boss fight. It seems that Stu Lord's punches now for some reason work really fucking well against the Collector, despite them not working at all a few minutes ago. I got nothing. I just want this shit to end. So this nail-biting action ends with Yondu acting as bait so he can somehow snatch away the Collector's bracelet that controls the cages without the Collector noticing this, so Yondu can open a cage himself, while T'Challa preps his rocket shoes to fly in with a knee to the face that sends him flying into the cage. Boss defeated. And we have a little payoff with the pink slave girl getting her revenge, and Jesus, how the fuck? How many living people do you need to collect, dude? And oh look, it appears as if there are multiple of the same creature copied and pasted into this shot, seemingly as if the animators couldn't be fucking asked to put in some variety here. Did I mention before that this show is funded by a multi-billion-dollar company? Because I'm going to keep mentioning it if I keep seeing crap like this on my screen. Finally, we are at the end of this farcical ride through Gary Stu Hell, with T'Challa and the rest of the Ravager crew going back to Wakanda, and everyone is merry and happy at this wonderful family reunion. We even get one more fantastic joke about Thanos killing half of all life again.
My friend, that sounds an awful lot like genocide.
No, because it's random.
Uh-huh.
And I might add, efficient.
So, T'Chaka asks Yondu how the hell his son came to be in his spaceship, and basically asking, "Why the fuck did you kidnap my son, dude?" But T'Challa cuts in and says,
I was lost, Baba. Yondu found me.
Oh! Okay! In that case, you think you could elaborate?
Alright, I guess that's as good a place as any to finish the episode, I suppose. Alright, cut to credits.
But wait! There's more!
But hang on, we end on a final stinger where we have the true Star-Lord, Peter Quill, working in a fucking Dairy Queen? Like, oh yeah, this new Star-Lord, T'Challa, he's literally a galactic hero that everyone fucking fawns over and want to suck his cock every 5 minutes he's in their presence. But that goofy moron Peter Quill? Nah, he didn't make anything of himself. Even into his bloody 30s, he works at a fucking Dairy Queen as a fucking janitor. By the sweet celestial power of shitting hell Grayskull, what is actually wrong with these writers? Can you please stop taking a massive shit on the past? It did nothing to you. Anyway, it seems we are still in some level of canon, as Ego appears behind Peter to more than likely take him away to become a Celestial, and we fade to black with a very deserving and heartfelt message paying tribute to the late Chadwick Boseman. And end credits. Sweet, buttery crumpet on a shit stick. What on earth was that? At the very least, episode 1 was contained on its own with being just a shameless rip-off of the first Avenger, with Peggy taking Steve Rogers' place. But this? This is what the people wanted out of T'Challa's character as Star-Lord? This is what the fans are losing their fucking smooth brains over, and unironically creating the very same T'Challa Star-Lord simp culture that exists in this very episode? My god, what a ride. You know, I said before, after watching episode 1, that it can't possibly get worse than this. And yet, here we are. I will never look at Thanos the same way ever again, knowing that all it took to stop his universe-balancing crusade was a good argument. Go fuck yourself with a spiky vibranium dildo, you Gary Stu fuxicle clown boy. And also rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. You were a great talent. I'll see you all next time for episode 3, I suppose. Maybe. God, what the hell have I dug myself into? I'm TCAP. Goodbye.